So, I have a point of view that most people probably won't, that not most people, but a few people probably won't agree with. Okay, whatever, be mad if you want to, but here's my simple take on it. Gay guys, stop pursuing straight guys. Seriously, it needs to stop. Stop going after straight guys. Stop verbally abusing them, and stop pursuing them. Because if they're straight, they're straight. It means they are into women only, and that's the only thing they're after. I keep seeing these articles about how it's like more men should be into trans women. Okay, let me put this to you as simple as possible. If a person is a trans woman, they have a male part. So let's just put it this way. A straight man is not going to be into that. Period. All right? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to burst your bubble. But if you are a trans woman and you have a male part, or you used to be male, a straight man is not going to be into that. Well, some straight men are, then they're not straight. I'm sorry. You can try to say they are, they're not straight. If they are into a male, they're not straight. If they're into male who look like females, they're not straight. So let's just make it clear. They're not straight. So when I see articles about men saying, when they say, oh, more straight men should be into trans women, that counters the definition of straight. I mean, I don't know how else you can try to say that's straight. Oh, more straight men should be into trans women. So he's still straight if he's into a trans woman. If he thinks that the trans woman is a woman, then yes, that's a straight motive. But when he finds out it's a man, if he still chooses to be with him after that point, then that's no longer straight. Like, if he wanted another male, then that's not straight. That's homosexual. Unless, of course, we've changed the definition of homosexual too now. Of course, you know what's funny? Is we try to change this definition of male and female, but then try to say that there's actually no such thing. So, male and female, a male can be a female and a female can be a male. So then what's the point of using the word heterosexual and homosexual and bisexual if a guy can be a girl and a girl can be a guy? Because a homosexual is someone who likes their own sex. But if that a person can just change their sex whenever, then those terms are literally useless. LGBT counters itself. It counters itself. It has no consistent patterns. And it gets mad when people don't understand it. And I'm like, oh, so excuse me, you're saying that a guy can be a girl, but this guy over here is a guy, and that guy over there is that girl. That guy over there is a girl, so it's completely okay. Like, you have to if you're going to say something, you have to understand that if people don't understand your inconsistencies, it's because it's, inconsistent. So I get mad when people say, when I see these articles about trans men, trans men being mad that straight men aren't into them, because if they were into trans men, that would mean they were no longer straight, period. So that article is a contradiction in itself. He is no longer straight if he knows that man used to be, the person who looks like a woman has a male part. Let's just put it that way. You have every right to disagree with me. You can say that my opinion is stupid. You can say that I am the dumbest person ever. But I'm just gonna try to put it in simple terms. If a man is into another man who used to be that looks like a woman, he's gay. Period. And then the other side of that is there are people who are openly gay, or people who are gay, who are going after straight men. And they're like, well, why aren't you into me? Because they're straight. What part of that do you not understand? If they're straight, they're not into other guys. Well, you should be more accepting. Let me make this abundantly clear to you. If the person is straight, they're into females. And no matter how feminine you want to make yourself look, they are into girls, females. If you guys want to be friends, sure, go ahead and be friends. But if you know that person's straight, and you're going to say, oh, well, we should try to go out, don't be surprised if he's not as open-minded as you are. I'm just trying to tell you for your benefit. Do you know the person is straight? Don't try to say, oh, yeah, well, I mean, he'll be accepting of me. No, he won't be. He will not be, because if you're gay and he's straight, I don't know what else to tell you except for you're gonna get your heart broken. So don't be surprised if he says, "Sorry, I'm not into that." Well, it's 2019 and we should be more accepting. Let me make this abundantly clear to you. If he's not into guys, he's not going to be into you if you're gay. Well, maybe I can get him used to me. He might be used to you as a person and he might be good friends with you. But if you say, "Hey, I'm gay," don't be surprised if he just loses, if you're no longer talking to each other. Best way to lose a friendship is to step over someone's comfort zone. And if you tell someone that you're gay, congratulations, you no longer are friends with that person. You should okay, let's put it this way. There a lot of people who are gay lose friendships, not lose family members, but lose friendship, lose relationships when they tell people that. It's especially a sensitive matter when the person who is gay likes the person that they're telling. Because there's two things that can go wrong there. One, the person that they're telling that they like, and if the person's straight, they're not gonna not only not be comfortable with that, but they're not gonna want to be friends after that either. The same things happen with heterosexual relationships. If a guy tells a girl, "Hey, I like you, I like you," there's a great possibility that after that they're not going to be friends because it's too weird. So the same thing happens with homosexual couples or a person who's homosexual. If a person who's gay says, "Hey, I like you," and it's to another guy, don't be surprised if that friendship doesn't last. Like I said, don't take it personally. It's not just you. It's a normal thing when it comes to people who are not ready for a relationship. So you're saying they're not ready for a relationship with me? No, I'm saying they're not comfortable with you. After you just told them that you're gay, yeah, they don't want to be friends with you anymore because that's information that they're not comfortable in handling and they can't handle. Like I said, you may not be a bad person or whatever, but if you tell someone that you're gay and they're not gay, don't be surprised if you guys aren't friends anymore. Like, I don't know. People think with their emotions. People think with their emotions and they think because, well, I feel this way, so they're going to feel the same way back to me. All right, I'm going to tell you this way. You may like someone, but they may not like you back. That's not me being mean. That's not me being rude. But if someone doesn't like you back or feel the same way towards you, you're going to get hurt. That's the one thing about a crush. It sucks because you can like somebody and they don't feel the same way towards you. So you either A, conclude that you're going to be friends if they still want to be friends, or learn to keep those feelings to yourself and bring them out at a time where it's okay to bring them out. But even then, it's still not something that promises that that person will like you. Like I said, for a lot of the people who are homosexual out there, you know what? They're going to feel like, all right, you know what? I want to share these feelings with my best friend. Okay. If you feel feelings towards your best friend and they don't feel the same way back, I don't know what else to tell you if you guys aren't friends anymore. So I'm going to say, if you're going to do something like that, use caution. And don't think with your emotions. It's really easy to say, well, I really feel this, so I'm going to let my emotions speak. All right? There's nothing wrong with having feelings towards someone. This is advice for homo and heterosexual individuals. If a person has feelings for someone, and if a boy has feelings for a girl, and she doesn't have the same feelings back towards him, after that guy tells her his feeling towards her, she can either continue to be friends with him, or she can just say, "No, I don't want to be friends with you anymore." That happens in any case. So it's not different. It's not that's not an extraordinary case just for homosexuals. That happens with heterosexual couples too. I guess what I'm trying to say is, before you put your feelings on the line, think about what you're doing. And before you put your feelings out there, think about what you're doing. Because, again, the person that you may like may not feel the same way towards you. So I keep seeing these articles about people who are saying, well, more people should be more accepting and more willing to go out with homosexual people. I'm going to say this again. If the person is homosexual and they're open-minded, they're going to do that. If they're not, then they're not gonna feel the same way. If a homosexual, if someone who's gay likes someone who's straight, don't be surprised if that friendship doesn't last. Like I said, they might be accepting of that person and say, you know what, we could still be friends, but I don't feel the same way towards you. Or they'll be like, sorry, I can't be friends with you because now I'm uncomfortable with you. I mean, just know that's the consequences. And you know what? Like, some people just don't, I don't know how to say this. Some people don't understand that just because you like a person doesn't mean they're going to like you back. Well, I'm a nice guy and I seem like I'm a nice person, so why wouldn't they like me back? Because they don't like you like that. Just because you're a nice person, just because you're an amazing person or awesome person, whatever it is, it doesn't mean they have romantic feelings for you. It doesn't just come down to being an awesome person or a nice person. It comes down to their attraction towards you. Meaning if they're attracted to you, they will want to be with you. If they're not attracted to you, you can't make them attracted to you. Now, you can do things like make sure do simple things like hygiene, dress up nicely, make sure that you look nice. You can do simple things like that, like make yourself appealing, but that doesn't promise that that person's gonna like you or it's gonna find you appealing. It just depends on the person and what they feel towards you. So if you like a person and they don't like you back, don't take it personally. Just learn to say, okay, there are other fish in the sea. Oh, but they're the only person. No, they're not the only person that you'll ever fall in love with. I'm pretty sure every person who's ever had a crush feels that way. But no, that's not the only person you're ever going to fall in love with. That's not the only person you're going to love. You'll find somebody else, and you'll find someone who's more compatible with you. It's much better to be with the right person, the person who accepts you for you and loves you for you, than to be with somebody who doesn't accept you, or to be with somebody just because they're good looking. Like I said, 9 times out of 10, the more you have a crush on somebody, it's not because they're a great person or because they're a great personality, but because they look good. And that appeals to us visually and to our hormones. But when it comes down to their personality and who they are as a person, that's not the part that we're looking at when we're attracted to them. This is especially true for guys, because guys tend to be go after things that they find visually appealing. And that's why you have a lot of guys that objectify women, because they're like, wow, her body's really good looking. Okay, yeah, that's nice and all, but who is she as a person? Is she a great person? Is she a nice person? I don't care about that. Man, look at those. Okay, you can stop looking at all that. Like, she's pretty and all, but she's more than just her body. I mean, don't you see those curves and how tight her waist is and how big everything else is? Okay, yeah, that's nice and all, but who is she as a person? So, like, you gotta look beyond that. And again, it's very common for guys to really get into that idea of, oh, well, she's really, yeah, that's nice. She is good looking, but look beyond that, because if you get with someone who's good looking but a terrible person, you will hate yourself. Well, you won't hate yourself when you are with her. You're like, oh yeah, I have someone to brag about to my guy friends about. But it's like, well, I mean, you can brag to your friends about how good looking she is, but when you live with her, it's a completely different story. You don't want to live with a girl who's an absolute nightmare. So, don't just go after someone because they're visually appealing. Go after someone because they're actually genuinely a good person. But then again, it's easy to get carried away by your emotions and just be like, man, that's really what I want. No, it's not. You want to be with somebody that you genuinely want to be with, that you want to spend time with. Like I said, if you hate, I saw a post the other day. It was like, if you hate small talk, let's talk about death, the meaning of life, God, everything like that. And it was like, wow, okay, yeah, I guess small talk does account for most conversation, because when you think about it, the deep, meaningful, very exponential questions of life, are not made for every day. Those might be good questions, but thinking about them all the time makes you mentally and emotionally tired. So it's like, all right, having small talk is a good thing. And You want to be with somebody that you can have little small conversations with and be comfortable with, not somebody who just looks good. Because if you can't even have simple conversations, that's not gonna be a very good relationship. You can't just be with someone who looks good. You have to be with someone who actually you can have a relationship with. Not someone who's just like, oh well, they're just cute looking. I mean, they may look good, they may look attractive or hot, but at the end of the day, you want to be with someone that you actually want to be with, not someone who's just like, oh yeah, she looks good. Yeah, okay, so what? If you want to be with somebody that you are comfortable being around, that you guys share a similar point of view, or at least enjoy each other's company. Because again, you can be with someone who just looks good, but for one, that's lust, and two, if you just look at someone for the way they look, I promise you're gonna find other girls that look just as pretty, and you're gonna be upset when you're just with one. You're just like, oh man, she's pretty, and I'm with this girl, but that girl's pretty too, and that girl's pretty too. There are plenty of pretty women. If you are just going after someone because they're pretty, I promise you're gonna end up with a lot of broken hearts, and you're gonna end up breaking hearts because, for one, she may look attractive, but if you aren't with her because of the relationship aspect of it, then I promise you, when you get married, it's not gonna be pretty. And last but not least, again, there's nothing wrong with having a crush on somebody or thinking someone's attractive. I'm just encouraging you, before you just jump into a relationship or just throw your feelings out there and expect someone to feel the same way about you, think before you act. On the side of having a crush on someone, or on the note of having a crush on someone, you can have a crush on someone, but they may not feel the same way towards you. So before you decide to just throw yourself out there and inundate them with a whole bunch of love letters, first make sure that you get to know that person first and see if they're even interested in you. Because the last thing you want to do is put your feelings on the line and they just straight up reject you. There are a lot of people out there, and I know there's still going to be people out there. It happens every time. Like I said, as soon as people hit puberty, they don't understand the concept that because you like someone, they might not like you back. That's not a concept that most people understand. As a matter of fact, it amazes me how many people I talk to, and they're like, but I'm a nice guy. I'm like, that's unfortunate. What I hear when I hear the term that I'm a nice guy, what I hear is, well, I'm nice enough to be liked, so therefore I should be liked by this person because I like her, so she must like me back. And my response to you is, no, a person doesn't like you back because you're a nice person. They like you back because they've gotten to know you, they like your personality, and they like who you are. If they've not gotten to know you, they're not going to have any sort of feelings towards you because they don't even know who you are. And if they, and even if you're a nice guy, if you just come up to them and tell them that you like them, then for one, who are you? And two, why are you telling me that you like me? That's weird. In other words, there's no familiarity established. And then if you're already friends with this person and you like them, then it needs to be approached carefully, because if you just throw your feelings out there and they don't feel the same feeling, same feeling back towards you, then they might just, in the best way possible, reject you without actually straight up rejecting you. In other words, they'll just avoid the conversation and just be like, oh, you're so silly. Yeah, you and your funniness, you're always being so funny. Which is a simple way of saying, I don't want to tell you I don't like you because I would hurt your feelings, but you're such a nice guy and I really want to still be friends with you, but I also don't want you liking me this way because I don't feel the same way towards you. Love is a complicated thing. It's not as simple as just liking someone and they like you back. It's a matter of relationship and wanting to be in that relationship and people wanting to share the same feelings and people feeling the same way towards each other. So, I mean, when it comes... Oh, wow, my nail's broken. So it's not a simple matter, but what it comes down to is the people got to feel the same way towards each other, and they have to both feel the same, both want the same thing. So, I mean, like I said, if you're with somebody, you want to be with somebody that you're comfortable with, that you can actually have conversations with and be around and actually enjoy each other's company. So if there's any note to leave this video on, is love's a complicated thing. For people who are out there who are homosexual and they like somebody, before you just jump into a relationship, again, approach it carefully, Don't just jump into it. Like I said, just because you like a person doesn't mean they like you back. But that's not just exclusive to homosexual people. That's heterosexual. That's anybody. If you like somebody and they don't like you back, that could happen. But again, the situation can be handled one of two ways, or a few ways actually. Not, they can be flattered by the fact that you like them, but not like you back, and like, you know what, be flattered by the fact that you like them, like, oh well, thank you, but I don't feel the same way towards you, but thank you for the compliment anyways. I still want to be friends with you. Or they'll listen to you and they'll say, I don't like you and I'm uncomfortable with you now, so now we can no longer be friends, and that friendships break up. That happens with heterosexual and homosexual couples, so don't take that personally. To the people who are trans women or trans men or whatever, again, I would encourage honesty. If you have changed your gender or you've done something, and if you feel like you have to hide that from your partner, what that does is it creates a relationship where it's already there's a lack of transparency, and because of that, it makes them less likely to trust you in the long run. Now, again, if they accept you for you, they'll accept you for you up front. But if they don't accept you for you, then having to hide that truth from them means they aren't accepting you, but who they think you are, which is even worse, because it means they accept an image of you that's not true. If they accept the fact that you've changed your gender, then they actually do accept and love you for you. But if they accept you because they think you are the opposite gender, you have someone who accepts the image of who you are or what you look like. In other words, who they perceive you to be, not what the truth and what the reality is. In other words, they don't know the truth about you, so they don't accept you. They accept what they think about you. So they accept the perception more than the reality. They don't know who you actually are. They don't know that you used to be another gender, and that creates a really almost shady spot in the relationship, a place where that conversation isn't talked about until it has to be talked about. And here's the thing about a relationship. You guys are going to be one. So now you guys are going to know each other and know everything about each other. And if that's a secret that you've kept, then when you guys want to share intimacy or be one, you can be one. Maybe if you look like the opposite or you have successfully pulled off looking like the other. But it also means that, like I said, for guys who actually transfer to women, it means that they can never truly have children. And for the women who transfer to men, I mean, I don't know how effective how close they look to a male or male anatomy, but let's just say that they do and they can pull it off. It also means that they can't have children. And I mean, maybe by all goodness that conversation never comes up, even though you guys are literally knowing or giving yourself to each other. But yeah, maybe that conversation will never come up. Point being, I don't know how well that lack of transparency will hold up through the whole relationship if it's built off of a misconception. Now, if that's what you want to do and that's how you live your life, you know what, you do you. But my perception on that is it feels dishonest. Now, again, this is my perception. You can think whatever you want to, but I feel like it feels dishonest to say that you are, in fact, the opposite when you've changed to be the opposite. Like I said, I live by 3 rules, and you can take my advice or completely disregard it and think that I'm a crazy person. You don't have to listen to anything I say. But I live by 3 rules. Find those who love and accept you for you. Listen to or ignore those who critique you. And block out those who hate you. You know what? If you're a transgender, you're going to have a lot of people who absolutely hate your guts because that's disgusting and you shouldn't deserve to live and yada yada yada. Okay, let them hate you. There's nothing you can do to change their mind. They already decided that they dislike you. All right? Don't bother with those people. Second people are the people who critique you. Now, there are people out there who are going to say, oh my gosh, you're terrible for doing this, and you're a liar, and you are dishonest. And okay, some of those people just absolutely hate your face and are uncomfortable with transgender people, which I understand that, because if someone is in a bathroom and then they see someone who's a transgender woman, they're gonna feel uncomfortable with that, especially if let's say if it's a transgender woman in a woman's bathroom. It was that weird. Or a cross-dresser. Women might feel uncomfortable with a man in their female bathroom. Or a guy might feel uncomfortable with a man dressed as a woman in the male's bathroom. You can either, like I said, those who critique you, you have people out there who just absolutely hate your face. But then there are people out there who will criticize you, not because they hate you or they think you're a terrible person, but because they actually want you to do better. You're like, all right, why did you feel like you had to do this? Well, because this was the only option. Was it the only option, though? And like I said, I mean, what it comes down to me, this is what I think about it when I think about it. You will either look in the mirror and accept the fact that you're a guy and be okay with that, or you will look in the mirror, look at the fact that you're a male and say, I don't like this and I want to be the opposite. And I mean, there are people who feel that way, who feel like they do not like who they are, and they feel like they are naturally, like, again, phrase-wise, they are naturally the other. So a male with male anatomy says, I am naturally a female. All right, for the sake of confusion, you can say that, or you can do that, and you can live that way. I'm not against you for living your life and being who you want to be. But why do you feel like that's the only path you could take? Well, because if I were a guy, I can't, wear a dress or wear pink. There are plenty of flamboyant guys. You could just be a gay guy. Well, I can't play with Barbie. Okay, you could just be a guy who plays with Barbies. Like, why can't you just say you're a guy with feminine feelings or with things that are associated with females instead of trying to say that you are a female, because it feels deceptive otherwise. Again, you can ignore my opinion, but this is the three rules I live by. Block out those who hate you. Find those who love and accept you. Listen to or ignore those who critique you. And block out those who hate you. I'm going to put myself in the second category. I'm a critic. I don't really agree with people who are transgender, but I don't dislike them either. I'm not going to say, oh, you deserve to die and burn. No, that's a terrible thing to say. But I understand that people, choose lifestyles that are a little bit odd and weird to understand. But you learn to accept and love people despite that. Like, you don't say, oh, because your life is nothing like mine, I don't like you. You just say, okay, I don't agree with your opinion and your way of life, but I learned to accept you for who you are, despite you having a weird way of living. That's a philosophy that I wish most people would live by, but obviously most people won't, because people are who they are. So there are people who are going to listen to what I say and think what I say is makes sense, and other people will say, you're just a judgmental person. Okay, you have every right to think that. I don't really care. I'm going to be who I am regardless. If you don't agree with me, you don't have to. And find those who love and accept you. If you have to lie to someone to tell them to be in a relationship, they probably don't love and accept you for you. They probably love and accept you for who they think you are. Which means if you look like Kim Kardashian and someone married you because they thought you were Kim Kardashian, I hate to say this, but at some point they're going to find out the truth. And if they feel like they were lied to, they might decide not to be in that relationship anymore. Same thing with being transgender. A person who is transgender and the spouse finds out that they were the opposite sex, they're probably not going to be too happy with that. Now, if there is honesty and transparency up front, then that's not going to be a problem. But if there wasn't that, there probably is. Again, that's my take on it. That's my perspective on it. But you can say whatever you want to on it. You can disagree with me. I just say that if you're a transgender, you should be transparent with your whoever you're in a relationship with, because you want to be with someone. You want to be with somebody that you're comfortable with, not someone you have to trick to make them be with you. If you're gay and you feel like the only way you can get a guy is to look like a girl, I mean, I guess go for it. The problem is there's always going to be that lack of trust, because they feel like they're tricked instead of like you're honest. I just say that honesty is the better trait, but you know what? You do you. So I say all this to say, try to the best of your ability, be honest with people and try to be transparent. That said, you don't have to agree with me. You can take what you will from it. Love and accept people for who they are. Learn to understand where you are and why people feel the way that they do, and learn to respect other people's boundaries. That's about it. Love yourself. Accept yourself. That's about it. God deuces.